All right, are you guys seeing this okay? Thumbs up if you can see this. Okay, awesome. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about how to gain your spouse's support as you start your business as an entrepreneur. I know some of you might be fortunate to have already had your spouse support. Others, it takes a little bit for them to catch on and really understand what we're doing to help people. So we're going to touch on, just you getting informed and keep your spouse informed. Be clear about your business investment intentions. State the benefits of your business. Let your spouse or significant other know how they can help contribute. Communicate your family goals with one another, and then get on the same page with your schedules. So all those things are going to really help. All right, so get informed and keep your spouse informed. First and foremost, family comes first. They are your priority, and finding balance sometimes is really hard. I know for me, it was something that we kind of struggled with initially because we love what we do so much, and it's easy to put other priorities first. And until I actually went through and did the time block, I really didn't realize how much time I was investing in my business because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So it was easy for me to work, the whole day and not even take time for my kids. So I block off time in the afternoon, like when the kids are home from school until they go to bed, is our family time. And then something that Adam and I need to start doing is just 10 minutes before we go to bed at night, just to sit down and connect with each other. But I'll get into that later. But the time blocking really helps. So make sure that you do set aside time just for your family where you can disconnect, unplug every day. So learn the business, actively participate in your training groups. I imagine a lot of you on the call tonight are probably newer coaches or newer diamonds. So that you are learning what you find. You guys mute yourselves. Thank you. So learn the business and then share what you're learning with your spouse or significant other. And I just want to say too, some of you on this call might not have a significant other or a spouse. If that's the case, it can be your best friend, your BFF, or maybe it's another family member, maybe your sister, someone who you feel like you could partner up with to help you run your business. So it's not always your spouse. So I just want to point that out too. And then research what you need to know on your own. So in those training groups, you might not always have everything that you need when you need it. So there's nothing to say that you cannot go research on YouTube or Google and find what you need to help your spouse. Some people that I've talked to, they want to know more about like the financial aspect. I'm thinking of Dave. My brother-in-law had a lot of questions that maybe I didn't necessarily know the answer to, or it's not something that we teach in our Coach Basics. So, it was nice to be able to talk with him, or, in this case, it could be your spouse, about like the business end of things, if that's what they're curious to know about, like how the marketing works, the income and all that. And then share your vision. And this is really important. If you have, a vision, maybe you are working full-time and you want to leave your career, that would be really important to relay to your significant other. Like, this is your goal for your, long-term goal, that you would like to replace your full-time job with Beachbody, versus maybe working it just really part-time and, you're going to earn less income that way, but maybe that's all that you want to do with it, is just help a couple people a month and not really work it as a career. So just be on the same page, share your vision with each other, and then be patient with each other. Growing your business takes time, consistency, and dedication. That's something with Adam I really appreciate. He's always been really supportive and always really patient. We're both trying to figure this out and figure out what works for our family. You have to be flexible with one another. Like today, I really wanted to go, we communicated to each other. He took the kids out of the home for me for an hour and a half so that I could get tonight's presentation done. So I wasn't interrupted during that time. And I told him like 3:00, I wanted to go out on a run. Well, I didn't get out until almost 5. So sometimes, my plans don't happen. Yeah, and Adam made dinner, which is really awesome. Help the kids to bed. So you just have to be a team and realize that sometimes you do have to be flexible. Your intentions might not happen as you plan, but as long as you guys both can be flexible with each other, it's going to make things a lot easier. Okay, be clear about your business investment intentions. This is something that changes as you grow your business. So starting out, you might not be investing into your business. It might be just, I guess your Shakeology is considered an investment, your business service fees. But as you grow your team, as you become a diamond and higher rank, you're going to start to want to do other things for your team, like incentives or gifts, or maybe you're doing gifts to your challengers, things like that. Travel expenses when you qualify to go to leadership or the summit. Just being kind of transparent with, okay, these are the expenses that I'm going to have coming up, or, how can we budget this in if it's really important? Like summit is something that, my first year as a coach, it's still a stretch for me to get to summit. And we didn't travel at all before I started coaching. So now all of a sudden I'm spending money on traveling all over the place where we weren't spending that money before. So, just like helping your spouse understand the importance and significance of attending those events, what it's going to do for your business, what you're going to gain by attending, and just being on the same page with that. Discuss how your income will be used. Your short term is less than a year. Your medium term is like a year to 3 years, and then your long-term goals, 3 to 5 years. Adam and I have sat down and talked about, we're actually debt-free and working on paying off our mortgage. And next year, hopefully, we'll be designing our dream home. So we're on the same page with that. It's something that we can dream about and talk about and go on Pinterest and look for what we want to do with our home. And it's really exciting to just share that dream and share that vision and be able to talk about that. Let's see here. And again, that's going to change depending on where you're at with your business. So maybe like right now, if you're earning $300 a month, let's say, what is that money going to be used for? Is it going towards, a certain bill to get that debt paid off, or covering other grocery expenses, or, whatnot? And then track your business expenses in an organized way for tax purposes. That was something we kind of learned the hard way. This last year, I was very disorganized, and it took a long time for me to get my finances, our tax preparer, and I felt kind of bad for the woman who was helping us. So this year, I'm actually breaking it up in quarters, which I'm already behind on. But so I'm going to be sending my stuff every quarter to her so that she doesn't have such a workload at the end of the year. So make sure that you're saving all of your stuff and you have a file, anything work related. So last weekend, Adam and I went and took the kids on a spontaneous trip to the water park. And we met up with one of my coaches in the area. So we were able to use that as a deduction, that vacation, because we traveled to see my coach. So, your trip to Summit, that's a tax deduction. Your gifts to your challengers, your coaches, those are all tax deductions. So make sure you keep an organized list of all of your expenses. Okay, so state the benefits. Let them know how they can help contribute. This is kind of where I'm going to have Adam jump into here. So, again, when I started coaching, it was a really good fit for me and my family. We were both on the same page because I needed something that I could do from home. I didn't want to be sending my kids to daycare. We needed income, and this seemed to be something that I would really be passionate about. So, what solution can Beachbody coaching provide for your family and yourself? So, talk that over with your spouse so that you each understand why you're doing it. What's it going to help? Remember that you're not the only person involved in operating this business. Your whole family's life will change in order to support your business venture. Reiterate with each other how your business is in the best interest of your family. So for Adam, he was working a job an hour away each day, so 2 hours a day commuting, and we never saw him. Now looking back, that was 2 years ago. It's hard to believe that we were doing that for so long, but he would get home at like 10:30, sometimes later every night, 11, yeah. So he wouldn't see the kids at all, or myself. A lot of times I was in bed. by, I don't know, 8 o'clock. 7:30 or 8. Don't like to admit that now, but anyway, so we didn't see each other at night. And in the morning, he was leaving by 6:30, 7 o'clock. So the kids maybe saw him for 20 minutes in the morning. And then the only family time we had was on the weekends. So this really was a solution for us in a lot of ways, not only financially, but it enabled him to leave that job and work closer to home. He's home at 4:30, 5 o'clock every day. And we have dinner every night with each other. It just totally changed so many areas of our life. And it's a job that he's passionate about. It's in his field of study. So it's been a blessing. And then also seek support from others to understand. It's important that you really, it's important that you have a real understanding of the commitment of the time, resources, energy required to succeed, the impact the requirement will have in your family and social life. So I think this was really eye-opening when our first big corporate event that we went to together was the Success Club trip in 2013 or 14. Yeah, 2014. We did the cruise. And I was really happy that Adam was able to come with me, and being around the other coaches and kind of experiencing the mission of Beachbody, the sense of community, was really eye-opening for him, especially. And then this last year in Cancun, being able to really get to know a lot of the spouses and stuff, I think he had an awesome time.
What happens in Cancun stays in Cancun.
I got in a little trouble. But I don't know, if you can help your spouse experience kind of part of what you do that way and have him come along or her come along, it's just going to help you guys work together as a team. I don't know, do you want to talk about your experience with the Success Club trips? Well, why don't you know? Because it would be a good time to.
Well, I think,
Well, first of all, do we have any spouses on the call tonight? I'd love to know. I can't see you guys. Unmute yourselves. Do we have any spouses on the call tonight?
Ryan's on call.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Good.
Okay. Welcome.
Very good. Did you guys see my husband? He was waving hello as he's putting the dishes away.
Oh.
Okay. Do you want to talk about your experience?
Yeah, go ahead and mute yourselves again, guys, because we get a little bit of feedback. Yeah, our first, I think Marsha is right. I can't believe that was last year. It seems like so long ago. But, like she had mentioned, I had met Alyssa and in high school. And what really came to be now with Beachbody is that, we were pretty, tentative at first because we didn't have any spare money. $100 was really hard for us. And fast forwarding to saying, okay, we're going to do this. Let's buy our challenge pack and let's be coaches. And and I'm one of Marsha's coaches, and I don't really work the business directly, but I think indirectly we do. But going on that Success Club trip, that was incredibly eye-opening for me. It's one thing for a spouse to see their significant other, working on a computer and going through these calls and going through the training, but going on a Success Club trip and being completely enraptured, being completely surrounded by people who have the same common goals and at different stages. So, people that were just like us, that were just getting started and starting to see some of the success and some of the emotional rewards, quite honestly, I think it's even more powerful. Yes, it's great that Marsha and I are debt-free and working off to pay off our mortgage at this point. But it was really interesting to see, some of the top coaches do. And what surprised me was some of the coaches that were at the top were so humble. And it was one of those things where I'm like, oh, okay, this is really interesting, and I pretty much knew, where the income level of some of these coaches were. And it's hard not to, stereotype and make assumptions about someone. But one thing I've learned is that, even meeting like Carl Deichler and meeting some of the trainers that you guys work out with all the time, when you pop in that scene, when you're streaming it live or whatever you're doing, they're so humble. They're just like you and I and Marsha. You know, we all take showers. We all put our socks on the same way. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I take away from that first trip was it was a very humbling experience for me, and it really kind of validated these are the types of people that I want to be around with my wife. You know, this is the type of life that we really want. We want to be positive. We want to be, you know, changing people's lives. Yes, it's great to be, you know, getting this income that we never ever thought was possible. But I think what's more rewarding is hearing Marsha, you know, going crazy and you know, recording messages when one of her challengers is dropping pounds like, you know, crazy, and their life is changing. Like, oh, I'm chasing after my kids now, and I'm not feeding my face full of fast food, and really making I could feel the difference, and I feel great. And I think that's the biggest thing that I saw too is, you know, this just wasn't a lifestyle change for Marsha. It was like she had said, it was completely a lifestyle change for all of us. We're learning to love each other again. Honestly, it's almost like we're dating again. You know, we're learning stuff about each other, and you know, she's working now where I used to, you know, be the sole provider for the income. And I think it's an important thing to, like she said, be patient, because you're gonna have to, you know, you're going to have to reassess where you are in your relationship, with whether it's with your girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other, whoever it is, if you're a roommate, whatever. You know, things are going to change, but I think that's what's so great is that, you know, the change comes with these amazing opportunities like these trips and these amazing opportunities to help, and also with the income. I think we'll go into a little bit more with the next slide. So why don't we
yeah, I just want to add to, like, you know, the family aspect of it. And my kids too, you know, I don't know how old your guys' kids are, but, you know, my older ones understand what I do for my business. And, you know, they know that I work now, and they respect my time. Usually the older ones do. It's harder with the little ones. But they're very proud of what we do, and that's pretty awesome. They understand healthy lifestyle. And you know, we're an example for our kids too, which I love.
So I think, you know, here's, you guys can all see the spouse, significant others, you know, let them know how they can contribute. So given the Cliff Notes version of how this came to be. So Marsha and I started off with doing insanity, and it was insane. I was completely out of shape and overweight. And I dropped, you know, 70 pounds, and really loved the results from that. But one thing that I started to do, and that was really helping me with those results, is Shakeology. So, you know, a lot of you will sign up your husbands or wives or significant others as your first coach in your progress to get to Emerald. One thing, they may not directly work the business, they may not be doing the things that you normally do or learning how to do, but they can use Shakeology, and they can, you know, they can wear the swag, and they can take the shaker cup, and chances are someone's going to be like, you know, every day at work when I have my Shakeology on my desk, people are like, oh, what is that? And I'm like, this is like liquid gold. This is a beautiful thing. It's full of chocolate and banana and a little bit of peanut butter.
A little bit, a lot of it.
No, it's a tablespoon. But it's a really great product, and it really works. You know, I unfortunately, when I lost all this weight, I thought I was indestructible, so I went back to playing softball, and unfortunately blew out my Achilles tendon. So for almost a year, I wasn't able to do any workouts. I was just on Shakeology, and I'll be darned if it didn't keep the weight off and help me, you know, even lose a little bit more weight. So it's a great product if you really stick with it, and if you're, you know, if you don't do the cheat, if you're not eating a huge bowl of ice cream and going to fast food joints, it really can make a difference. Wear and shear, you know, you can easily wear, like Marsha's got a couple P90X hats and stuff laying around. I definitely once in a while will wear those out. I'm a big guy, so I like wearing those hats once in a while. But I also will take, like, her business cards. I got some business cards. So sharing is also business cards. So when people see my posts on Facebook, and we'll kind of go up and down, but I share a lot of Marsha's posts. They'll ask me about, and they'll stop in my work, or they'll see me in public because I have a pretty high profile job, here in one of our towns where people really get to know me and have her card. So sharing and making, it's kind of like guerrilla marketing. You're wearing the stuff out there and taking your shaker cups and your business cards. One thing that you can do to really help out the person that is the active coach, refer friends, refer prospects, talk about what they do. This is an amazing thing that we have kind of fallen into, quite honestly. And I'm really excited about it. I love the work that Marsha does. I'm very proud of my wife. I'm proud of her team, our team, quite honestly, because a lot of these people are people that I have a contact with and are friends of mine, and a lot of times that's an in. So if they're not quite sure who this really good-looking chick is over here, maybe they might know me from high school or college, or might be a past employee that I had. So referring friends, referring prospects, husbands of a husband or a wife or a sister of a wife, whoever it is, can be very, very lucrative, and it can be really great referrals because they already have that trust thing with you. Help out with household and family responsibilities. Marsha always says to me, she's like, it's just part of being married is having responsibilities. I will say though, it going from a full-time job where I was working literally 16 hours a day, 14 to 17 hours a day, and driving. When I got home, I was pooped. I mean, I was spent, guys, and I didn't want to do some of these things, even though I knew it had to be done, and I felt bad. So I really think that once this opportunity came up, it really opened my eyes to other things that I can do to feel good about more family responsibilities. So a lot of times I'll cook, I'll clean, I've been doing laundry all day. I'll take the kids, like she mentioned, I took them to the park and we had a great time. We were playing tag and, going down slides. I can actually go down slides again without worrying about breaking them. So, it's really important that you show support that, they're working again. This is a pretty tough responsibility to be handling all this stuff on Facebook. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of organization. So help out. Share posts, that's huge. Make sure you're sharing posts. If you don't talk about how great things are that your spouse or whoever it is doing, if you're not sharing that stuff, you should be ashamed of yourself, because you should be proud of what they're doing. It's great work. But also, it's really, really important to be saying that you know something about sharing in the excitement of what they're doing. That's enthusiasm, and that is really quite addictive in terms of your friends who might see your posts. Because even though Marsha and I have a lot of mutual friends, and she's been kind of stealing a lot of my friends on Facebook, it's really important that you do talk about what they do. Again, it's wonderful work. They're great products, and it's something that you can be very proud of to support and represent. Public support and recognition. Yeah, I mean, if you ask anybody that works with me or my friends or anybody on Facebook, a lot of times they'll be like, man, my vice president of my board at my nonprofit was like, man, you just talk about your wife all the time. I'm like, dang, sure I do. I'm really proud of her, and it's something that a lot of people will pick up on right away. They'll be like, wow, you're really, really into what she's doing, and you're sharing stuff. And I don't know if I'd share my wife or boyfriend or whoever it is in their workout clothes all sweaty and stuff. And I'm like, well, she works hard, and this is what she does. And I'm not going to try to hide the fact that she's busting her hump, working out and going for runs and that type of thing. I'm going to be proud of it. I might not be doing those things myself. It might not be something that I'm particularly interested in. I'm not a big, fan of running. Marsha is a huge runner. She's addicted to running. I can't see myself going on a 10-mile run, but it doesn't mean that I can't support that and be like, look at what my wife just did. Or when she goes and runs a half marathon, I'm there with the kids and we're cheering her on, and the kids are like, wow, this is amazing what mommy's doing. I'm like, it sure the heck is. I like to share in that. Just because you don't do it doesn't mean you can't be supportive of it and recognize how wonderful it is. Emotional support, I think it's a big one. We are very supportive of each other. Sometimes we are a little stubborn, so we'll get into it sometimes, but when it comes right down to it, the emotional support, there are days where Marsha's like, I wish I could make these people see, how wonderful, life can be when you don't have all this extra weight and all this extra, really weight on your shoulders, not just the physical weight, but the weight on your shoulders about, making your life change. This is not a diet. This is not some quick fix thing. It's a complete change of life. And that emotional support sometimes is extremely important. She'll bounce ideas off me. And I think as a significant other or a spouse, you want to be able to make sure that you can talk the talk and walk the walk too. And if they start talking about emerald or diamond or star diamond or whatever it is, you might actually have an idea about what that is. That's emotional support. It's showing that you care. She's a huge, huge part of our financial situation at this point. Before, I was making a pretty good income, but on a family of 6, it didn't go very far. So now the roles are kind of reversed. Marsha actually makes, double what I do at this point, maybe even more. And sometimes, guys will ask me, they're like, does she really make, that type of income? I'm like, yeah, she does. I'm the one that really handles the finances within our accounts. I see it come in and out and, that type of thing. Like, well, how do you do that? Going from, the person that was the sole provider financially to now she's the breadwinner. How are you doing with that? And I'm like, I think it's great. It's always been an agreement with us that it's our money. It's our business, quite honestly, because I'm so supportive with it. And it was funny because the other day Marsha came home and she had this like guilty look on her face, and I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? And she pulls out this little handheld vacuum Dyson thing. We had a Dyson vacuum first when we got married. It was one of our first big purchases. We had to finance the stupid thing. But she's like, don't be mad. And I'm like, don't be mad? What? Don't be mad? I'm like, what? And she's like, I bought this Dyson. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I didn't know we needed a handheld Dyson vacuum, but whatever. And I said, well, how much was it? And she's like, it was like $300 and some. And if you would have said that to us, like if I would have made a purchase or Marsha made a purchase, when we were really tight and one of us spent $300 and some without asking, would have been like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? We can't do this. We need to pay the car bill, or we need to pay the credit card bill, or whatever it is. And I looked at her and I said, would you knock it off? I said, you're allowed. Like, you work really hard and you don't need my permission, and I don't need your permission. If I want to buy something, we're able to do it. Fine. Don't go out and buy a Lamborghini or whatever it is. I wanted to buy a pop-up trailer the other day. But it's really important that you talk about it. Like, the communication thing is so important. When you have all this income that you didn't have before, it's easy to just be like, oh, let's go buy a new car, or let's, do something crazy with it. But you can't let that get out of control. And it's hard sometimes because we were never in that position. So now it is getting to the point where we have to kind of readjust how we're thinking financially and talk more about finances. So, and then attend corporate events with you. So, this is something that I want to definitely make sure that you understand. Corporate events, I didn't really know what a corporate event was for the most part. And when we went to the cruise, it was really important that they understand, like, going to those corporate, informational sessions where they're rolling out new products or whatever they're doing. I mean, those are really, really exciting. When this whole thing came out, it was okay to talk about sales. Okay, so we were at Cancun, and they were saying, oh, we're going to change exercise. And I'm like, what are you going to be doing now, Carl? And all of a sudden, Sean T comes out, and he's dancing all over the place. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? Like, and they started talking about size, and it's this new dance workout program for those of you who haven't seen it. You probably should by now. But it was really interesting to me to be part of that. Those corporate announcements and to be the first to know. And I was in corporate America with my prior job, so it's kind of neat for me. I know it's kind of nerdy, but it's kind of neat for me to see some of those corporate people and the people that talk about not just the success stories, but the business portions of it too. And I should say that I've been talking about like this dependable income that we have now. I want to be very clear. Like, in the beginning, we weren't making a ton of money. So when Marsha started, like, first couple checks, we got, what was like $200, $300, maybe. And I looked at her when I saw this $200, $300, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's $200, $300. It was a wonderful thing. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look at how much this is going to help us. So one thing I really want you guys to understand is, throughout this, it is a process. Don't assume that you're just going to, blast off. You have to do the work to see the the successes come in. So if you're not earning a ton of money right now, make sure that you understand that it is a process. You've been there. It's not out of your reach. You just got to keep your eye on the goal, and you'll achieve those things. So, let's go next.
Can you guys make sure you're muted? I just want to touch on this. Okay, so being proofs that the products work. I want to give you practical applications and tips that you can use and take back with you after this call. So Adam did post his before and after pictures, and it was huge. He had a ton of outpouring of support. And what I did was I friend requested everybody who liked or commented on his post. And then he tagged me as his coach, of course, giving me credit for helping him, which was awesome. So that was a way that I added a ton of contacts just by him posting his before and afters. Was huge, huge, huge. And then the wear and share, basically drinking Shakeology, every day he talks about me, talks about the products and supports Beachbody wholeheartedly.
I should say too, when we were in Cancun, I took an in progress picture, and I took one, and it was crazy because the one that Marsha's talking about, I actually still had a shirt on, and the one in Cancun, I was so nervous because I used to be that guy that would be really like, I'm not going to walk around with my shirt off. I was I just didn't have the self-esteem to do it. So I wanted to give people kind of a picture into where I am. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm being proud of the way I look compared to where I was. So I was like, oh, okay, I suppose I'm on this trip. My wife was able to get us this trip. I better take a picture and at least say, here's where I am, and show people that I'm starting to gain in my confidence as well. So that was a hard one for me, but it is really huge that even though you're not working the business, you can still do things that are really powerful. Like that post where I showed my before and after picture, it was powerful for me, and it was powerful for a lot of my friends to say, oh my gosh, like I remember Adam when he was, 200 pounds in, early in high school and playing baseball and in pretty good shape. Look where he let himself go, having kids and putting on the sympathy weight or whatever excuse you want to come up with, to now where I am, which is going back the other direction and fulfilling a healthy lifestyle and being a good example for our kids, just like Marsha is. Now, Marsha's way a better example than I am. I will honestly say that, but we're getting there. And again, it's one of those things where we keep learning and keep changing as parents and role models too.
All right. So posting pictures of your husband helps. Workout pictures of you guys together helps. All right. That's just going to create interest, and people are going to have fun watching you. Referring prospects to share. So we'll talk every now and then like, oh, I know so-and-so, they'd be great. Are you friends with them on Facebook? So then I'll try to send them a friend request or get in touch with them and just start forming a relationship with that person if your husband or spouse knows somebody that you don't know. Let's see. Helping out with the household and family responsibilities. We kind of have a routine down. Someone asked me this last week, if there's a day of the week or, things. I used to be a stay-at-home mom, and taking care of the kids in the house was my job, literally. So we have 2 huge gardens. I cleaned. I spent way too much time in the kitchen with meals. And when I started coaching, I took a complete shift. I had to let some of those things go. Yes, it really bothered me at first. But, I realized, okay, doing laundry and mopping the floors is not earning me money. So I let go of those things. It was really hard because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to cleaning the house. But gosh, Adam dusted for me yesterday, and I think I'm ashamed to admit how long it had been since we dusted.
She says she was stubborn. She's more OCD. It's like everything's got to be in its place.
But, he's been really good at just recognizing that I'm not a superwoman. I can't do it all. And this is a business that is, where we're going to be. So I have to let go of some of that stuff, and he does chip in when we need to. And usually Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, those 3 days, we're trying to catch up with all the household stuff. And, we just eat really simple. I don't spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I cook healthy, clean meals that I just don't have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen for. Sharing posts. So we tag each other. I'll tag him in my post. He'll tag me. We'll share our stuff if it's, something that he thinks is going to help motivate somebody or help somebody. Just so that we get more eyes on our stuff. So yeah, that's the gist of it. All right. So communicate with your family. Goals with one another. This was really fun for us to do actually once, and I know that you guys are probably not at the point in your business where you can maybe even see the light at the end of the tunnel. It took probably, a good year for us to kind of get to the point where we really started to see where we were going to go with our business. Like, our income started kind of catching up a little bit with the work that I was putting in. I know it's a lot of hours for very little pay for a while when you're getting started. But when things start picking up, you just really get excited, and that really motivates you to push harder in your business. So once we were able to kind of see that, and we paid off our last credit card, like, wow, this is exciting. All right, following Dave Ramsey's principles, we're going to start attacking our mortgage now. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We're just kind of padding our savings a little bit more before we start plugging away at our mortgage. But so we talk about, where we want to be a year from now, and it's really fun and exciting. I encouraged Adam, he hasn't yet, to do his own dream board. So we have ours, through work, and I have my family goals on my dream board too, but I want him to dream also, because this is a family change for all of us. What I do impacts the whole family, and I want him to also be dreaming along with me and have goals for himself. So
yeah, and I think to jump in, I think it's really important. We were talking today when we were preparing to go through these. We were going through some of this. I said, now honey, I said, that some of my dreams are not going to be like exactly your dreams. There are things that I want to accomplish, or we're not very, very materialistic people, but there are some things. Maybe I don't want to buy a Dyson, but maybe I want to get a new fishing pole because my son wants to go fishing. Whatever it is, or I want to get a tent to go camping with the kids. Whatever it is, be supportive of their dreams too, because it's really important that if this is going to be a family income, if this is going to be a joint income, you want to make sure that they have dreams as long as just like you do, and that it's okay that theirs are different, maybe something that you're not exactly interested in, but allow them that, because then they'll be like, wow, okay, some of this is actually allowing me to get things, or do things that I never thought possible, like traveling for Marsha and I. Oh my gosh, we are traveling all over the place, and it's really, really fun and really exciting. So make sure that you allow them to dream too, because they'll feel more part of it.
And the same, for your business goals, your family goals are the same. So make out your plan for how and when you will accomplish your short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Date nights to rediscover ourselves. Like Evan said, when we first started coaching, we had no money. We couldn't afford a babysitter to go on date nights. So that was one thing that went on my dream board, weekly date nights. And now we lost our babysitter, so we're back to square one with that. But when we find a babysitter, we're going to be doing that again. Just again, making time for us and falling in love again.
Or do date nights at home. You don't always have to go out. Maybe it's just snuggling up on the couch and grabbing a bottle of wine, or Shakeology. I don't know what it is. Whatever you want to do. A bottle of Shakeology. Okay, we're really going to take off this bottle of Shakeology. No, but it's really important. Make sure this is a lot of work for the people that are working the business. It is a lot of work. It does take some time away. Make sure that you make time for each other, because if you don't, there can be some miscommunications, whether you say it or not. Just make sure that this stays important.
Right. And then as your income grows, talk about traveling, what you're going to do to pay it forward, donations, things like that. Just dream together. All right, get on the same page with your schedules. This was one thing that really helped us. Have weekly family meetings to go over each other's schedules and commitments. And we do that things change every week. So if you can do that, maybe it's a Sunday night, go over what your calls are for the week, when you're going to need his help with the kids or whatever it might be. And just ask, again, if he's not supportive of that, explain what it is for, how this is going to help your business. set aside 10 minutes at the end of the day, to just touch base with each other, check in with each other, snuggle up on the couch, whatever. Get your calendars in sync with each other so that you both know what's going on. And this might really help you if you have an app on your phone or something that you guys can share with each other. So as things get added to your calendar, you both see it. So things like your calls, your trainings, your travel, what events you have coming up for the whole year, so that you guys just are, again, it's all, a lot about communication, being on the same page.
Yeah, it's huge, because if you don't do this, there's a big, really mean word called resentment. You don't want the person that your lives are changing. So if it's your significant other, your wife or husband, whoever is working this business, they're taking away time to work again, or maybe work a second job, because a lot of you may be working either a part-time or a full-time job now, and this is something that you've started. You're taking away that time from that person and from your family a little bit to devote to this. So make sure that 10 minutes at the end of the day, that's like your time to say, like, are we okay? Like, I know it was a long day. Can I rub your feet? Or, oh boy, I love you. Just say the things that need to be said and catch up with each other, because you don't want that really mean word resentment to sneak in, because that will start to grow. And then you might have a blowout, and it could be over the littlest teeny thing that has nothing to do with why you're angry. So make sure that you stay in communication with each other all throughout this process, because there's going to be long nights. I will say there's going to be some long nights when you're trying to hit a goal, or trying to hit a status, or whatever it may be, or trying to get somebody's order done, whatever it is. Just make sure you acknowledge the fact that you did work a little bit harder, and that the communication is there, because that really, I will say, it really does mean a lot when Marsha says, boy, thanks for taking the kids a day, or I know it was a really long day, I know I put a lot of time in, but I really appreciate it. That means so much. So stay on the same page. That's huge.
All right. So just going to leave you with a couple of thoughts here. Just like every other major life decision that you and your spouse make, the decision to pursue your business should be something that you both pray about, just together and individually. Both of you will need faith to see your vision, commit to the sacrifices, which for me, it was TV time. I completely gave up TV. Take action to make vision a reality, and sleep. I don't go to bed at 7:30 or 8 o'clock anymore. Prayer, patience, and understanding will also allow both of you to turn over those big challenges that you don't have immediate answers to a God who can give both of you peace, then that passes all understanding. So just praying really helps. Your spouse may be thrilled that you are finally taking a leap of faith to pursue your profitable, purpose-driven passion, but do be prepared emotionally and logically in case your excitement is met with some questions, some skepticism. Since what we do is very non-traditional, people are often skeptical and reluctant to accept this as a valid and reliable means to a career path. So again, the main goal is to do what you can to create a sense of security, stability, while keeping an open mind to the feelings of concerns of your spouse, making sure you're communicating. Hopefully some of these tips you can implement that'll increase your chances of gaining your partner's support in what you do in this business. So I guess at this point, I'm just going to open it up. Let Adam here give some final thoughts on tips that he feels maybe would really help.
I didn't realize that there were that many people on. There was like a little picture with like 3 people. I'm like, oh, we're talking to 3 people. No, there's like a whole friggin' screen full of people.
We have some questions
crazy.
too. Okay, let's see what the questions are. All right.
Haven't seen you in years. Oh, hi, Carrie. I got a little bit more hair. I might be a little bit better looking now, but somebody just asked me to ask, what do you think about my wife's family and my family, our friends, etc., revealing bikini? Oh, yeah, see, that I mentioned that. That's a great question, Jennifer. And we actually talked about this on the trip with, who was it? Was it Val? Val Bozo, I think, was the one of the other coaches. You guys might not know her, but you may or may not. How do I feel about seeing my wife in a bikini? My wife looks hot in a bikini, so I think it's great. Like, I don't care. How do I feel about her sharing that on her page or like in her fitness page? I understand it's part of who she is. She runs a fitness business. Have there been times where I'm like, that guy was kind of a creeper. He made some type of comment, yeah, and we talk about it, and I think it's really important that you do talk about it openly. Like, it's okay. Like, you realize people wear bikinis and go to the beach and wear swimsuits, right? So I would say it's okay. You have to be confident. Like, it did bug me a little bit, rub me the wrong way a little bit at the first, but quite honestly, I know that we're dedicated and committed to each other, and I think it's more of a confidence thing with me than it is almost her. Like, she's probably not happy with the way she looks in a bikini right now, and I think she looks great. So, it's a hard one. I think, again, I know it's just may seem like an overall, like, around the end type of answer, but you have to communicate and say, do you know why I'm posting this picture? Like, if you ask them, do you know why? Like, do you know why it's important for me to show people that I'm living proof that this works? Like, there might be some people that, they aren't married and maybe they were, overweight, and that kid in school that was picked on or whatever it may be. And maybe it's because they were a little bit, kind of soft around the middle their whole lives. Now look at me, got raging 6-pack abs and look great in bikini. You should be damn proud of that. So I don't think it's more about me having insecurities than it is Marsha, but you have to communicate, because if she would have just thrown a picture up there of herself in a bikini and not talked to me about it, it probably would have not been great, because I would have been like, oh, okay, this is a little weird for me. We talk about everything, so I know it's a little bit weird, but my hubby is super conservative. His family is from the South, so he's worried about that.
I want to jump in here. So I don't post a lot of photos of me in bikinis. I have, I guess after Cancun I did. But you don't have to do the bikini photos, ladies, okay? So you can do, one of my coaches did her transformation picture of just her face.
Yeah.
And it was humongous, you guys. You don't have to do the revealing photos to show that the proof of the product working. You can do, you could cut your face off and just, if you lift up your shirt and just do an ab picture, side or whatever. You don't have to show even your face. You can do your before and after. Even in your workout clothes, so a tank and shorts, you guys.
Yeah, most quite honestly, most people that I've friended that I met through Beachbody that are really successful coaches, even somebody like Alyssa, I mean, she doesn't post a ton of bikini pictures. So if you're not comfortable with it,
Alyssa kind of does, because she's a bikini competitor, but
it's not all over the place. I mean, anyway.
So, and plus, speak to your niche. So if I were to start posting bikini pictures, first of all, it's out of my comfort zone totally. I don't like doing it, but I will.
I like it, but it's, again.
But if I were, let's say I started doing this, posting bikini photos of myself every week, a lot of my followers might really be turned off, because people who follow me are moms like me. They're moms in their mid-30s to late 30s. They're not, looking to go out and rock their bikini necessarily. They just want to feel good about themselves and be confident and comfortable in their own skin. And they're not necessarily looking for the 6-pack abs and cut bodies. That's my following. That's my niche. But if you do have followers, maybe you're in your younger 20s and that's who you attract as followers, then you're going to speak to your niche by probably posting more of those types of photos. So you just have to know yourself. What's your comfort zone? But I want to tell you that just a face photo, before and after, if there's visible results, that can be just as powerful as posting a full body in your bikini. If
you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. Just do something in your workout clothes. That's fine too. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
But does that help answer you guys' question? Yeah. Jennifer, Michelle?
You don't feel like you have to put yourself out there for everyone to see if you're not comfortable with it. That's crazy. Like I said, guys, I wasn't comfortable with putting my picture out there with my shirt off until just recently. And so I can relate to some of you in that way, and probably a lot of your husbands too, because it's not a lot of hubbies look exactly like they want to look nowadays. So yeah, it's an interesting process. I'm not gonna lie to you. So what did Michelle say? I don't do bikinis. Just curious how. Yeah. Again, you don't need to do them.
So Michelle, unmute yourself. So you don't do bikini photos either. So what do you use, and are they effective? Where's Michelle?
Right there.
Hi.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
I want to see your face.
Oh, sorry.
I like that picture. I like your headband. I don't know what she's
Let me
talking
turn on the light. Hold on. I'm not dead inside, I promise.
Hey, girl.
Hi. It's been forever, Adam. How you doing? I generally do, most of my pictures are like workout clothes. Like the most comfortable I get is like a sports bra, but I'm still kind of on my journey thing, and I was never really much of like a bikini person anyway. So the couple of pictures that I've done, it'll be like a tankini kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I talk about, moms and being comfortable with even, finding the swimsuit that fits you. I did a body image versus like the bikini or swimsuit that suits you last summer. And I got a lot of feedback on that one.
Right.
But yeah, I made them public, but I'm pretty well covered still. So,
yeah. I mean, as long as you're showing that it's working, like make this month the month that you're going to have an awesome 30-day transformation. Do the 21-day fix. Lose 15 to 20 pounds this month. Commit to yourself. Take a before picture and say, I know I'm going to take a picture every week and I'm going to see progress every week. And it can be of your backside in a workout tank and shorts, flexing your guts. Yep. There was one picture that I saw, a transformation picture. It was just a person's back, and you could see noticeable difference in their arms. Mm-hmm. The underside of your arms, and just all over body slimming. And it wasn't, the person wasn't at their goal at the end of the 30 days, but it was, it wasn't revealing their abs, their chest, anything like that. It was the picture of their back side.
Yeah.
And it can be super effective. It's just,
I had a love handles one.
Yeah.
That one was effective after my 60 days of T25. That was really good. Your transformation pictures are definitely crucial, and I don't think they have to be your body all of the time either. Like in my pictures in the beginning, I was sad, and the pictures 60 days later, I had a permagrin just because I felt better.
Yeah.
So some people do transformations and they say they struggle as coaches, but your transformation is as much inside as it is outside. So.
Yep. So Terry Jo, so what if you don't have any weight to lose? You can talk about the non-skill victories, how working out makes you feel. I was a runner when I started the business, so I was already active, healthy eating, I had a lot to learn, I learned, but, I was already kind of living a healthy lifestyle. I don't have a huge transformation. I'm not at my goal. I'm working on my weight loss right now. So like that's where Adam really helped me, because he did have more of a journey. So I don't know if your spouse, is someone that you can show, or use your challengers in your challenge groups, as before and afters, if you can get them to share their pictures and be confident sharing their pictures with you, that they would allow you to post them on your timeline. I don't know, does that help? I mean, do any of you guys, other ladies, you're supposed to be your story? Yeah, that would do that. And you guys, I don't know if you guys do blogs, but do YouTubes, do blogs, so that it can be circulated, pin it to Pinterest or whatever it is, so that you're kind of killing 3 birds with one stone with your social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. You
started your men's challenge. Good. That's awesome. Yeah, and you said I don't have any weight to lose. That's awesome. A lot of us are like, oh, okay, I really hate you now. No, but I would say that you probably do have some weight to lose, probably up here. This is a total change in your perception of life and healthy eating. So yeah, having your spouse do this journey, that's going to change you up here. It's going to change both of your relationships. So there is some weight to lose up there, up here. So, think of it conceptually and think of it emotionally. If you want to do that, it's emotional baggage that you can let go of. I'm much more proud to look the way I am when I'm out with my wife. And I really have gone through this transformation of saying, I owe it to my wife too to look better, because this is her lifestyle. How is it going to look if I'm still like pounding down, cheeseburgers and doing things that aren't really healthy? So, I mean, it is really important. So there's emotional baggage there too. So you can let go of some of that, which is great, and you get stronger with each other. Any other questions from you guys? What other things are you wondering? No, I won't put myself in a bikini either. Just so you know. I'm not comfortable. I'm not. No speedo. No speedo. No speedo shots.
So So Adam is really putting himself out here, ladies, for any questions, anything that you want to ask him. You can unmute yourselves or chat in the chat bar. All right. Any tips on how to warm up your spouse or boyfriend to the business?
Spouse or boyfriend to the business. Some of this is really hard for me to talk to because I was the one that said to Marsha, go for this. Like, I was the one that really kind of was the catalyst. She was interested in it, but I love my wife so much, and I've always been supportive of her. So we're cute. That's great. I just saw that comment.
Thanks, guys.
I haven't been called cute in a long time. Was that Carrie? Hopefully Carrie didn't call me cute. Anyways,
he's going to want to be on all these calls now after this week.
No,
you guys keep
not so much.
Throwing out these comments.
No, it is hard. I would say just make sure you know your boyfriend or spouse the best. So however it is that you ease into a conversation about how this is going to change your life, or I think it's extremely important that communication thing. You may think you're doing okay with communication. We have a ton more work to do with communication. Nobody's perfect, and it changes. You know your husband or boyfriend better than anybody else. So how you get into that conversation, ease them into it, make them dinner, whatever, warm them up. I think
it all starts with the vision, though.
It really does.
You saw the vision before I did.
I did.
We really needed something to change in our lives. And I don't know, it would probably help me. Who had that question?
Do you want to call calls with husbands?
Okay, Jessica Belleville, can you unmute yourself and kind of explain where the hang up is? Because
give me some context.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Just more on just believing that it's a real thing. Just to start
that's
with.
That's a real job. Like, it actually is a job.
So how did you get brought into the business, Jessica? Did you know? I mean, are you Alyssa's personally sponsored coach, or how did you?
Yep. I just saw her post on Facebook one day, and I joined. And I believe I've just been a coach for about a month now, but I just got done with the first initial coach training. But
sure.
It's still taking some time to just warm everybody up to the idea, I think.
All right. So I have an idea for you. If you can get him to come to like Super Saturday or any of the corporate events, I think that would really open his eyes so that he can experience, what it is we do, the community. Like the Super Saturday videos are amazing. They're super motivating, super inspirational. The Success Club trip for Adam, that was really eye-opening for him. So if you can, get them to attend to some corporate event, I think that would be helpful. I don't know. Then do you want to?
Yeah, I think also give me some context. Like, is there uncomfortable moments when you're trying to work and he's like, you're just sitting in front of the computer? Give me some, like, what are you experiencing?
That's one of them, but also just sharing like the idea, like I'm already like have a vision of where it can like put me out like a year or 2 years, but just sharing that it's actually going to happen. Like I think most of it is just showing as well, like just the steps, small steps. I guess. It's
hard because like our brother-in-law, she finally got her sister to join and our brother-in-law was very skeptical. He's a very data-driven person, very business-driven person. He's like, so tell me exactly this, and this. Like he was just like, boom, 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 boom. And I just looked at him, I said, Dave, we're living proof that this works. Like if you put the work in and you follow like, there's like 3 things you have to do. I forget what the three vital behaviors. And it's like, I used to be like, whatever, 3 vital behaviors. But it actually, it really, like it works. Like we talk about this all the time. I'm like, why don't people just do this and like invite and share all the great things that they're
so you can be a coach. You got it down.
Yeah, right.
Why aren't you working your own business?
Because no, I really honestly I think it is about communication. It's showing them, quite honestly, once the paychecks start getting bigger too, that's going to be proof. I hate to just put it as simply as that, but I don't know who your boyfriend or your spouse is. If they are very much a numbers-driven person,
definitely.
Okay, well, there may be
so
nothing
then
to say.
I have some tips for that. Then put the pedal.
Okay.
But
I think also like the skeptical part of it is also
Because going into the business for me, I was very aggressive with the business because I knew we needed money. We needed the income. So I didn't accept anything but Success Club 10 or more for myself every month. And then I built him to Success Club every month so that I was getting the leads. We were getting the income. By the second month, we earned over $1,000. I never was in the red any month in the business. I was always pedal to the metal, pushing hard, adding coaches, adding customers every month to my business. So that, there are some coaches on my team and it's like, I wish that they would just go with it. It's like, you can't make someone do the work, but you can point them in the right direction. But I hate that when coaches aren't earning money.
It's so frustrating. Like I would never dream that she hasn't been doing this even 2 years yet. And to see where our income is, and I say our income because I really do feel like I'm a part of this, it is incredible. Like the potential, you guys, like you may not have the vision yet. If you do, that's awesome. I'm telling you right now, if you do the work and you do those vital behaviors and you really believe in the product, a lot of it's sincerity too. If people are seeing the results, and that's why those pictures are so important. It's like, be living proof, and your husband, if you get them on board, it's like, even
if they
it's a huge thing.
Would he do the workouts, Jessica, and drink Shakeology and just kind of start using some of the stuff? I don't know.
Working on that.
Yeah, that's hard work too, right?
I don't know. Have him do Pio. It's like Shalene's really cute, so maybe Pio is the way he should go and be like, I don't know.
That might work. That's what I'm doing right now.
No, I don't know. If he's a number-driven guy, then some of that, maybe if you see one of the other coaches post like, this was my blah, blah, blah week, I think that might be a powerful thing. Like I used to see Alyssa's post like that. And I'm like, no friggin' way. There's no way that that's what you earn in 1 week. And it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like this is what we could actually be. This is what you could be making in a week if you really did this. I'm okay with taking the kids to the park. Like, I'm good. Like, so, some of it has to do with just, for me, it was easy because I really trust Alyssa because I had a friendship with her. But that income potential, oh my gosh, this is like a life changer. And I think if you're sincere with somebody who's a numbers driven person and show them a post like that, they may be like, oh, wow, okay.
Well, so talking about the income side of things, when we were on the cruise, that we had a conversation with a couple. They were a husband-wife couple on a ferry boat to Grand Cayman or wherever we were.
It was one of the ports in.
And we weren't making a lot of money. I was a diamond coach. So, I was a diamond for probably 4 months in at the time of the cruise. So we weren't making a whole lot. I was probably earning, maybe a couple hundred a week, maybe $200-300 a week, which to us was a lot.
That was huge.
It was a lot, but for the hours that I was putting in, it's like, okay, when are things going to pick up here? You're just waiting for things to turn and take a shift. But they both retired their full-time jobs. They were professionals in their careers. They replaced both of their full-time incomes with Beachbody. And Adam and I were talking to them like, wow, really? Like you both left your jobs to do Beachbody? And it was like trying to wrap my head around like, the wheels started turning, but people are really doing this. And there were a lot of husband-wife couples working the business on the cruise that we met. And just hearing, story after story, people who had been in the business longer and seeing where they were at and what was possible. It really made a strong believer out of us that what I was doing was going to pay off, even though we didn't see immediate payoff. So I think that's probably out of the biggest, objection to spouses that they have is it's not like a traditional job where you go, what you're going to make, you put your time in and you leave. This is not like that. Mm-hmm. But, you're going to cap out at a job like that. You're not in control of your salary. You're not in control of your hours. If you want the freedom and the opportunity to have no cap on your finances, like this is amazing. It's amazing.
Go back to the chat.
So, okay, we have more questions here. Yeah, awesome.
Cool.
Okay, so what else do you guys got?
A call for husbands? Yeah, you know what? We should do a call for husbands. I agree. No, I'm serious. I do a call with husbands. You probably wouldn't like what I say half the time, but no, I'm a pretty candid person, and I think, quite honestly, we've actually talked about stuff like that. I would love to do a call for husbands, and I would be completely candid with them, because we had to have that conversation with our brother-in-law, and he's my best friend, and that was something I'm like, Dave, be quiet and listen. This is something that works. This is real. This is not a pyramid scheme, because you probably had some people questioning about that. I'd be totally open to that. I would definitely want Marsha there to keep me keep me reined back. But anyways, I think that would be a good idea to do.
All right. Well, we've been on the call for over an hour. Do you guys have any last questions before we close it up here? I agree with you, Jennifer. Yeah, that's very true. All right. Well, thank you for your time tonight, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I recorded this, so hopefully I can figure out how to share this.